Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Let's wrap up with the economic implications of build to cost in a contact center. Let's begin exploring the economic implications of the build to cost ratio, starting with profitability and margin control. This ratio directly determines whether a contract, client, or account is profitable, break-even, or loss-making. Here's an example. If $18 per hour and your delivery cost is $12 per hour, the ratio is 1:5, meaning a 50% profit margin. But if your delivery cost rises to $15 per hour while your build rate stays the same, the ratio drops to 1, shrinking your margin to 20%. This small movement, just a few dollars, can completely change the contract's financial health. Key insight: even slight cost fluctuations can have huge profit implications, making the build-to-cost ratio one of the most powerful indicators of financial sustainability. Next, let's examine another important economic implication of the build-to-cost ratio: client pricing and negotiation power. Your build-to-cost ratio doesn't just define profitability, it also shapes how much leverage you have at the negotiation table. When the ratio is strong, enjoy healthy margins that allow them to offer strategic discounts, loyalty pricing, or even bundled service packages without harming profitability. This flexibility builds stronger client relationships and positions the vendor as a trusted, value-driven partner. However, when the ratio, for example, due to rising delivery costs or stagnant billing rates, the vendor loses pricing flexibility. In such cases, they may be forced to renegotiate for higher rates, reduce service scope, or, in extreme situations, exit unprofitable contracts altogether. Insight: the build-to-cost ratio directly affects the power balance in vendor-client negotiations, determining whether the relationship is built on strength and value, or pressure and compromise. Let's now look at another crucial economic implication of the build-to-cost ratio: SLA and penalty economics. Your build-to-cost ratio doesn't just measure profitability, it directly influences your ability to meet SLAs and protect performance incentives. When the ratio margins are thin and cost pressure builds, this often forces management to understaff, delay hiring, or cut back on training and quality resources. The result? SLA breaches, penalties, or loss of performance bonuses, all of which further weaken profitability. In contrast, when the ratio is strong, it provides a financial buffer. You can afford to invest in overtime, overflow staffing, or AI-powered efficiency tools to safeguard SLA commitments even under peak load. Key insight: a healthy build-to-cost ratio directs financial performance to service reliability, ensuring that strong margins translate into consistent delivery, compliance, and client satisfaction. Now, let's focus on another major economic implication of the build-to-cost ratio: workforce and labor economics. Your people are at the heart of delivery, and the build-to-cost ratio determines how much you can invest in them. When ratios are healthy, organizations have the financial engagement programs, skill-building initiatives, and retention efforts. Agents feel valued, motivated, and supported, which leads to higher productivity and stronger customer outcomes. But when the ratio weakens, leadership often has to cut costs, reduce incentives, investments in people development. Over time, this causes higher attrition, lower morale, and rising rehiring and training expenses, creating a negative economic loop. Key insight: there is a direct connection between financial health and people stability. A ratio doesn't just improve profits, it sustains a happy, skilled, and loyal workforce that fuels long-term success. Let's now examine another critical economic implication of the build-to-cost ratio: investment and innovation capacity. When your operation maintains a high build-to-cost ratio, it generates healthy profitability, and that profitability becomes the fuel for innovation. It enables invest in AI technologies, automation, advanced analytics, and infrastructure upgrades that improve efficiency and competitiveness. However, when profitability is low, those innovation budgets are the first to be frozen. Technology upgrades get delayed, automation projects business begins to fall behind in capability and market readiness. Key insight: the build-to-cost ratio determines whether a contact center evolves or stagnates. Strong ratios fund growth and modernization, weak ratios trap operations in a cycle of cost-cutting and decline. Let's now focus on the next economic implication of the build-to-cost ratio: strategic growth and scalability. A strong build-to-cost ratio gives an organization the financial stability and credibility to expand strategically. It enables the business to attract more clients, geographies, and offer premium customer experience services that demand higher investment and operational maturity. In short, it fuels expansion and market leadership. However, when ratios are weak, the opposite occurs. Margins shrink, resources tighten, and client consolidation, account losses, or, in severe cases, even business shutdowns. Financial weakness limits the ability to grow, innovate, or compete effectively. Key insight: the build-to-cost ratio has a direct impact on strategic expansion potential. Strong ratios empower growth and innovation, while weak ones restrict scale and threaten long-term viability. Let's discuss one of the most important economic implications of the build-to-cost ratio: risk management. The ratio serves as a financial safeguard that helps organizations evaluate contract sustainability. When the build-to-cost ratio falls below 1.0, the account is loss-making, and continuing at that level becomes unsustainable in the long run. Sometimes, vendors may choose to accept temporarily weak ratios for strategic anchor clients. Those relationships that bring long-term value or credibility. However, should remain limited and balanced by stronger performing accounts across the portfolio. Key insight: effective risk management is about balancing risk and reward. A healthy build-to-cost ratio ensures business continuity, protects margins, and keeps the operation resilient against financial shock. Let's now explore the final dimension of the economic implications of the build-to-cost ratio: the indirect economics. Beyond direct profitability, this ratio also influences several strategic and reputational factors that define long-term business strength. First, brand and reputation. When vendors maintain healthy build-to-cost ratios, they can reinvest in customer experience excellence, improving CSAT, NPS, and overall client retention. A well-managed operation doesn't just deliver value, it earns trust and admiration in the market. Second, cost of churn. A strong ratio protects against client attrition because consistent service quality, timely delivery, and reliability reduce the risk of losing key accounts. Each retained client saves enormous reinvestment and acquisition costs. And third, market positioning. Sustained profitability showcases operational maturity and financial discipline, building confidence among investors, partners, and stakeholders that the organization is both stable and scalable. Key insight: indirect economics amplify long-term success. A strong build-to-cost ratio not only secures profits today, but also strengthens brand reputation, client loyalty, and market credibility for tomorrow. Let's conclude with the summary of the build-to-cost ratio, the financial backbone of BPO economics. This single metric tells the complete story of an operation's financial health, sustainability, and strategic potential. A high ratio, typically between 1.4 and 1.6, reflects sustainable profitability, the capacity for innovation, and strong, trust-based client relationships. It means the organization can reinvest confidently in people, technology, and growth. A moderate ratio, around 1.1 to 1.3, represents thin margin or break-even contracts. Here, success depends on tight cost control, operational precision, and careful management to stay viable. But when the ratio drops below 1.0, the contract becomes loss-making and high-risk. A red flag that long-term delivery at that level is unsustainable. Key takeaway: economically, the bill-to-cost ratio determines whether a contact center can protect margins, invest in AI, sustain workforce stability, and scale strategically, or whether it risks client pressure, service erosion, and ultimately, financial collapse. It's not just a financial metric, it's the heartbeat of business continuity and competitive strength. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.